It started with a black card, purple lettering glinting under the dim light of my desk lamp. Velvet key, it read, a small key and circle symbol etched in the corner. I found it in my fiancée's purse, and within 6 hours, it would unravel my life, cancel a wedding, and send me racing out of Seattle before dawn. My name's Jake Lawson, a 28-year-old coder who thought he had it all figured out. This is how one night changed everything. I'm the guy who'd rather debug code than charm a crowd. 3 years ago, I met Emily Cruz at a charity run for a Seattle Children's Hospital. I was volunteering, tweaking the donation app to track runners' pledges, while Emily, a 27-year-old marketing exec, lit up the event with her energy. She was all charisma, rallying participants with a smile that could sell anything. I was the opposite, quiet, methodical, happiest with a laptop and a coffee. But when she jogged over to thank me for fixing a glitch in the app, we clicked. She pulled me out of my shell. I gave her the stability she said she craved. 2 years later, I proposed at Pike Place Market, rain drizzling as I slipped a vintage emerald ring onto her finger. She said yes, laughing through tears. Our wedding was set for October 10th, 10 weeks away, with invitations mailed and a Hawaiian honeymoon booked. Things felt solid, until they weren't. Emily's job at a high-flying ad agency meant late nights, first occasional, then weekly. She'd come home past midnight, her laughter loose, carrying a whiff of perfume I didn't know. Client dinners, she'd say, brushing it off. Advertising life. I trusted her. Jealousy wasn't my style, and I believed honesty held us together. But last Wednesday, everything shifted. I'd just finished a grueling coding session for a startup client, my eyes stinging from hours of screen time. Heading to the kitchen for a beer, I tripped over Emily's small evening clutch, left by the couch. It wasn't her usual work bag. When it tipped over, its contents spilled out: lipstick, keys, mints, her ID, and that black card. Heavy, expensive cardstock, it read Velvet Key, in elegant purple script, with no phone number, no address, just that cryptic symbol. It didn't feel like a business card or a loyalty pass. It felt exclusive. Secretive. My stomach nodded, but I told myself it was nothing. Maybe a client gave it to her, or it was for a campaign. Emily's work was full of quirky projects. I skipped the beer, grabbed my laptop, and searched. Velvet Key Seattle. The first results were useless. A bar, a jazz band, a locksmith. But on page 4, buried in a forum thread, I found it, an elite, invitation-only club in Seattle's industrial district. Members only, no phones, high rollers with secrets, one post said. Another called it a private lounge for unconventional tastes, hinting at steep fees and strict privacy rules. My pulse quickened. This wasn't Emily's world. She was bold, but a secretive club? It didn't fit. Or did it? I tried to reason it away. Maybe a coworker gave her the card. Maybe it was research for a client pitch. Her agency handled edgy brands. But the card was in her evening clutch, not her work tote, and she'd taken it to a corporate event last night. Her late nights, the unfamiliar perfume, her vague stories, they were piling up, and I didn't like the picture they formed. Emily got home at 4:30 a.m., tiptoeing through our apartment, humming softly like she'd had the night of her life. I lay in bed, eyes half closed, watching her silhouette. She stumbled slightly, the faint smell of cigarettes and that strange perfume trailing her. She slipped into the bathroom, the shower hissing on. When she crawled into bed, the scent lingered, sharp and unfamiliar. My mind raced, but I stayed still, not ready to confront what I was starting to suspect. The next morning, over coffee, I tested her. "How was the party?" I asked, keeping my voice light. She stirred her mug, eyes fixed on the cream swirling inside. "Boring work stuff. Speeches, toasts, the usual," she said too casually. "Got home late?" I pressed, watching her closely. She shrugged. "Some of us hit a bar after. Lisa needed to vent about her divorce." Lisa. Her coworker who'd moved to Portland 6 months ago. We'd gone to her send-off party together. "Thought Lisa was in Portland," I said before I could stop myself. Emily froze for a split second, then recovered. "She's visiting. Might move back." She glanced at her watch. "Big pitch today. Gotta run." She grabbed her work bag and was out the door before I could say another word. The lie landed like a brick. Lisa wasn't visiting. We bought her a farewell gift, a custom coffee mug, together. This wasn't a slip, it was deliberate. The card, the perfume, the late nights, now the lie, they were pieces of a puzzle I didn't want to solve but couldn't ignore. I sat there, coffee going cold, the black card burning a hole in my pocket. Whatever Velvet Key was, it wasn't just a card. It was a key to a truth I wasn't sure I was ready to face. The black card sat on my desk, its purple, velvet key, lettering taunting me. My fiancée Emily's lie about Lisa still stung, and the card, found in her evening clutch, was a puzzle piece I couldn't ignore. I'm Jake Lawson, a 28-year-old coder from Seattle, 10 weeks from marrying the woman I thought I knew. But her late nights, unfamiliar perfume, and now this cryptic card pointed to a secret life. I had to know the truth, even if it broke me. For 2 days I wrestled with doubt. Work was a blur, my focus shot as I replayed Emily's vague excuses and that lie about Lisa, who'd moved to Portland months ago. I checked our joint credit card statements, spotting charges at upscale bars on nights she'd claimed to be working late. Nothing concrete, but enough to fuel my unease. By Friday, Emily announced another girls' night to celebrate a coworker's promotion. She grabbed her evening clutch, the same one with the card, and headed out, tossing a "Don't wait up" over her shoulder. I noticed the black card peeking from the clutch's pocket. My chest tightened, but I kept my voice steady. "Have fun," I said, eyes glued to the TV, pretending to care about the basketball game. After she left, I paced our apartment, the card's weight in my pocket like a ticking bomb. I'd never followed anyone before, it felt wrong, invasive, but the lies were piling up. Her phone password had changed recently, another red flag. I needed answers. Grabbing the spare, velvet key, card I'd found in her dresser, I changed into a dark jacket, called a taxi, and gave the driver an address in Seattle's industrial district, pulled from that forum thread. "Quiet spot for a Friday night," the driver remarked, eyeing me in the rearview. "Meeting friends," I muttered, my voice clipped. The industrial district was a ghost town of warehouses and barbed wire, but scattered among them were signs of life: a craft brewery, a loft conversion, and a row of high-end cars, Audi, BMW, even a Tesla, that didn't belong in this gritty area. I paid the driver and stepped out, spotting couples walking purposefully down a side street. I followed at a distance, blending in as best I could. The only sign of activity was muffled music leaking from an unmarked door, a subtle purple key symbol above it. This was it. 2 bouncers, built like linebackers, stood at the entrance, checking cards. I watched others flash theirs with confidence, some greeted by name. My heart pounded as I approached, mimicking their ease. "Card?" the first bouncer asked, his earpiece glinting. I held up the black card, steadying my hand. He glanced at it, then at me. $100 entry. "First time?" I nodded, handing over the cash, my face neutral despite the steep fee. "Rules," the second bouncer said. "No phones, no recordings, mutual consent only. Violations mean a permanent ban. Name for the registry?" "Jacob Lawson," I said, using my full name to avoid suspicion if Emily checked a guest list. He tapped a tablet, then waved me through. "Enjoy, Mr. Lawson." I handed over my phone at a sleek reception desk, receiving a claim ticket in return. Pushing through heavy curtains, I entered a dimly lit space, larger than I'd expected, with a bar along one wall and a small dance floor in the center. Couples and small groups mingled, their conversations low, the air charged with something I couldn't quite name. I ordered a whiskey at the bar, scanning the room for Emily. The bartender, noticing my unease, slid me a premium pour. "First-timer's treat," he said with a nod. I sipped slowly, my eyes darting across the crowd. No sign of Emily on the main floor. I noticed a spiral staircase leading to a mezzanine labeled Members Lounge. Another guard checked cards at the base. I flashed mine and climbed, my pulse racing. The upper level was quieter, with curved booths partially veiled by sheer curtains. And there, in a booth at the far end, I saw her. Emily sat between a man in a crisp shirt and a woman in a tight dress, laughing with 2 others, a couple, polished and confident. A champagne bucket sat on their table, next to a silver tray with white powder. My heart stopped, then thudded painfully. Emily looked at ease, her posture relaxed, her smile wide. The man's arm rested on her shoulder, his fingers brushing her neck. She leaned into him, laughing at something the woman whispered. Then, the other man passed her a small pill. Without hesitation, she swallowed it, her head tilting back with a grin. My vision blurred, the whiskey burning in my throat. This wasn't a one-time thing. She was comfortable here, familiar with these people. The Emily I knew, who'd planned our wedding and talked about starting a family, was a stranger in this moment. I forced myself to stay calm, retreating to the shadows before she could spot me. My mind screamed to confront her, to demand answers, but something colder took over. A scene would only humiliate me further. I needed to think, to act smart. I descended the stairs, weaving through the crowd, and reclaimed my phone. Outside, the cool Seattle air hit me like a slap. The club's muffled music faded as I walked away, my emotions a tangle of rage, betrayal, and something sharper, determination. I wouldn't beg or plead. I wouldn't let her see me break. Whatever came next, I'd handle it my way. The cool Seattle air did little to calm the storm inside me. I'd just seen my fiancée, Emily Cruz, in the VIP lounge of the Velvet Key, a secretive club, laughing and cozying up to strangers, popping a pill like it was routine. The black card with purple lettering, found in her clutch days ago, had led me here, and now my world was crumbling. I'm Jake Lawson, a 28-year-old coder, weeks away from a wedding that was no longer happening. As I walked away from the club, my heart pounded with betrayal, but a cold resolve took hold. I wouldn't confront her, not yet. I needed a plan. Back in our apartment, the silence was deafening. Emily's evening clutch sat where she'd left it, a mocking reminder of her double life. I pulled out my laptop and started digging deeper. Using a private browser, I scoured forums for more on the Velvet Key. Posts described it as an exclusive haven for Seattle's elite, tech moguls, ad execs, even local influencers, where privacy was ironclad and indulgences were limitless. One thread mentioned a members app for scheduling visits, accessible only with a unique code. I checked Emily's clutch again, finding a folded receipt with a QR code scribbled on it. Scanning it with my phone opened a login page for the Velvet Key app. My hands shook as I typed in her email and guessed her usual password variation. It failed. I tried another, then another, until one worked, an old password she'd used for our shared streaming account. The app revealed a calendar of Emily's visits to the club, logged weekly for months, sometimes twice in a week. There were cryptic notes. VIP with CNT, after party at K's. My stomach churned. This wasn't a one-off, it was a lifestyle. I took screenshots, my mind racing. Confronting her now would lead to tears, excuses, maybe lies about just experimenting. I didn't want to fight. I wanted out, cleanly and decisively. By 5 a.m., Emily still wasn't home. I sat at the kitchen table, drafting a note on a plain sheet of paper. Emily, I was at Velvet Key tonight. I saw you in the VIP lounge. The wedding's off. Don't contact me. Short, final, no room for debate. I left it on the counter, next to her clutch. Then I opened my laptop and drafted an email to our wedding guests and vendors. Dear friends and family, I regret to inform you that the wedding scheduled for October 10th is cancelled due to personal reasons. Please respect my privacy and contact vendors directly for any refundable deposits. Sincerely, Jake Lawson. I sent a separate email to our planner, authorizing her to cancel all bookings and keep non-refundable deposits as payment. I moved to our shared cloud account, downloading my work files and personal documents before removing my access. I packed a backpack with essentials, laptop, charger, a week's worth of clothes, passport, and medications. 2 duffel bags held the rest of what mattered. The emerald ring I'd given her, a family heirloom, stayed in its box. I wasn't taking it back. It belonged to a life I no longer recognized. My phone buzzed with a text from Emily at 6 a.m. Staying at Lisa's tonight. Girls' night ran late. Love you? The lie capped with, love you, twisted the knife. I blocked her number, then changed my email passwords and deleted tracking apps from my phone. I called my sister, Kate, in Portland. It was early, but she picked up on the second ring. Jake? What's wrong? Her voice was groggy but sharp with concern. The wedding's off. I need a place to crash. Can I come to you? A pause then. Of course. When? No, I said. I'll be there by tonight. You okay to drive? She asked. I'm fine, I lied, though my hands were trembling. Text me your ETA. I loaded my Subaru and hit the road as dawn broke over Seattle. The city's skyline faded in my rearview, each mile loosening the knot in my chest. I stopped at a bank to close our joint wedding account, splitting the balance evenly and transferring Emily's share to her personal account. I removed her as an authorized user on my business card. At a gas station, I withdrew my daily ATM limit, ensuring I had cash to stay off the grid for a while. My phone started buzzing around 10 a.m., calls from my mom, friends, even our wedding planner, likely reacting to the email. I answered only Mom's call. Jake, what's going on? Your email, what happened? Her voice cracked with worry. Mom, I can't explain now. The wedding's cancelled. It's not fixable. I'm heading to Kate's in Portland. You're running away? She pressed. Not running, I corrected. I'm leaving a situation that can't be saved. Please trust me. She sighed but didn't push further. Emily's calls started soon after, from numbers I didn't recognize. Voicemails piled up. Jake, please call me. It's not what you think. I can explain. Then, I saw your note. It was one time, I swear. Don't do this. I blocked each number, her words hollow. A text from a mutual friend, Sam, hit harder. Heard you left. Emily's saying you overreacted to a work party. What's going on? I didn't reply. The truth was too raw to share. By late afternoon, I crossed into Oregon, the Cascades rising in the distance. My phone pinged with an email from an unknown address. Velvet Key info. It read, Saw you at the club. The woman in the VIP lounge? She's a regular, been coming for over a year. Not just with that group. Reply if you want more. I closed it without responding. I didn't need details to know I'd made the right call. I pulled into Kate's driveway in Portland after dark, exhausted but strangely calm. She met me at the door with a beer and a hug. No questions tonight, she said. Guest room's ready. Pizza's on the way. I nodded, grateful. As I sank onto her couch, the weight of the last 24 hours hit me. Emily's betrayal wasn't just a moment, it was a pattern, one I'd been blind to. But I wasn't broken. Not yet. Tomorrow, I'd start rebuilding, one step at a time. I woke up in my sister Kate's guest room in Portland, the events of the past 48 hours crashing over me like a rogue wave. I'm Jake Lawson, a 28-year-old coder who'd just fled Seattle after discovering my fiancée, Emily Cruz, living a double life at the Velvet Key, an elite club where she was a regular, indulging in drugs and company that shattered our 3-year relationship. The black card with purple lettering, found in her clutch, had led me to witness her betrayal firsthand. I'd cancelled our wedding, packed my life into a Subaru, and driven to Kate's to start over. But the fallout was just beginning. Kate gave me space, sensing I wasn't ready to talk. I spent the first day in Portland unpacking essentials and setting up a temporary workspace in her spare room. My phone, now on silent, buzzed with messages, friends confused by my wedding cancellation email, Emily's increasingly desperate texts from new numbers. Jake, please, it was a mistake. Let's talk. I blocked each one, her words ringing hollow after the lies about girls' nights and her coworker Lisa. A voicemail from her best friend, Mia, caught me off guard. Jake, I'm so sorry. Emily's a mess. She swears it was just a phase. Call me if you want the truth. I deleted it. The truth was what I'd seen in that VIP lounge, Emily laughing, swallowing a pill, surrounded by strangers she knew too well. By day 3, I needed distraction. Kate dragged me to a local coffee shop to get some air. While she chatted with the barista, I opened my laptop and checked my email. Among the concerned messages from family, one stood out from an unfamiliar address. Velvet Key details. It read, You were at the club Friday. The woman in the VIP? She's been a member for over a year, always with different groups. Her work friends know. If you need names, reply. My jaw clenched. I didn't reply, but the email confirmed what I'd feared. Emily's secret life predated our engagement. I closed my laptop, the coffee turning bitter in my mouth. Kate noticed my mood. You don't have to tell me yet, she said, sliding into the seat across from me. But you can't just sit in my house forever. What's next? I didn't have an answer, but her question lit a spark. I couldn't let Emily's betrayal define me. That afternoon, I applied for a remote contract with a Portland-based tech firm, leveraging contacts from my Seattle network. By evening, I'd secured an interview. It wasn't a fresh start, but it was a step. A week later, I got a call from Sam, a mutual friend who'd texted earlier. "Jake, I hate doing this, but you deserve to know," he said. Emily wasn't just at that club. She's been seeing her boss, Ryan, for months. Some of us tried to warn her to stop, but she wouldn't listen. My stomach dropped. Ryan, her slick ad agency director, had always seemed too friendly at company events. "How long?" I asked, my voice tight. "Over a year," Sam admitted. "Before you proposed." I thanked him and hung up, the betrayal cutting deeper. Emily hadn't just cheated, she'd built a parallel life, stringing me along while planning our wedding. I threw myself into routine to stay sane. Mornings, I coded for clients. Afternoons, I helped Kate with yard work or joined her for hikes in Forest Park. The physical labor dulled the ache. One evening, while splitting firewood, Kate finally asked, "You gonna tell me what happened?" I told her everything, the card, the club, the VIP lounge, the pill, the lies. She listened, her face hardening. "You did the right thing," she said when I finished. "She didn't just break trust, she broke you. People like that don't change overnight." I nodded, her words echoing my own thoughts. 2 weeks in, an email from Emily landed in my inbox, slipping past my filters. "Jake, I know you hate me, and I deserve it. Velvet Key was my escape before we met. I thought I could quit, but work stress pulled me back. I lied, and I'm sorry. I'm starting therapy. Please, just talk to me." I read it twice, searching for sincerity, but all I felt was anger. She'd known what she was risking, our future, our trust, and chose it anyway. I archived the email without replying. The next day, another email arrived, this time from Ryan, her boss. "Jake, what happened was wrong. Emily cared about you, but she was torn between her life with you and other things. She quit the agency and is getting help. I'm not asking for forgiveness, just wanted you to know." His nerve made my blood boil. I deleted it, refusing to engage in their drama. I started volunteering at a Portland animal shelter to fill my evenings, walking dogs and cleaning kennels. The work was grounding, the animals' uncomplicated loyalty a stark contrast to Emily's deception. One afternoon, while wrestling a leash onto a hyperactive husky, I got a text from an unknown number. "Jake, it's Lisa. I'm back in Portland. Mia told me what happened. Emily's been lying to everyone. She was at that club every weekend you worked late. I'm sorry I didn't say something sooner." I stared at the message, the scale of Emily's deceit sinking in. I texted back a brief, "Thanks for telling me," and saved the message as evidence, though I wasn't sure for what. By the end of the month, I'd landed the contract job and rented a small studio apartment downtown. Moving out of Kate's felt like reclaiming my independence. I unfollowed mutual friends on social media, tired of hearing Emily's spin, stories of misunderstandings, or Jake overreacting. I didn't correct them. Their opinions didn't matter anymore. One night, as I walked home from the shelter, my phone pinged with a final message from Emily. "I'm moving to San Francisco. I know I hurt you. I hope you find happiness." I didn't respond. Her words felt like an attempt to ease her guilt, not mine. But as I crossed the Willamette River, Portland's lights reflecting on the water, I felt a shift. The pain was still there, but it was quieter. I'd left Seattle to escape her lies, but now I was building something new, something mine. 6 months had passed since I fled Seattle, leaving behind a shattered engagement and the sting of Emily Cruz's betrayal. I'm Jake Lawson, a 28-year-old coder now settled in Portland, piecing together a new life after discovering Emily's secret life at the Velvet Key Club. The black card with purple lettering, found in her clutch, had exposed her lies, late nights, drugs, and an affair with her boss, Ryan. I'd cancelled our wedding, cut ties, and moved to my sister Kate's, determined to rebuild. Now, standing on the edge of a new chapter, I was learning what closure really meant. Portland had become my refuge. My contract job with a local tech firm kept me busy, coding for a startup building eco-friendly apps. Evenings, I volunteered at an animal shelter, walking dogs and hauling bags of kibble. The routine grounded me, and the animals' simple trust was a balm after Emily's deception. Kate checked in often, dragging me on hikes or to food truck pods, refusing to let me wallow. "You're not that guy," she'd say, tossing me a beer. "You don't hide." Her faith in me kept me moving forward. Emily's attempts to reach me had dwindled. Her last email, sent a month after I left, admitted her long-term involvement with the Velvet Key and her therapy efforts. I hadn't responded. Then came messages from her circle, her friend Mia, her ex-boss Ryan, even Lisa, confirming Emily's affair and frequent club visits. Each revelation hardened my resolve to stay gone. Social media whispers reached me through mutual friends. Emily claimed we'd grown apart, or that I'd overreacted. I let her stories slide, focusing on my own path. One morning, while walking a scruffy terrier named Max at the shelter, I got an unexpected email with the subject: wedding invite. It was from Emily, addressed to me alone. "Jake, I'm in San Francisco now, getting married next month to someone who accepts me as I am. I've learned a lot about honesty since you left. Your decision forced me to face my mistakes. I don't expect you to come, but I wanted you to know I'm trying to be better. Be well." I stared at the screen, feeling a mix of indifference and relief. Her words didn't undo the pain, but they signaled an end. I forwarded the email to Kate, who snorted when she read it. "She's tying up loose ends," Kate said. "Good for her, but you owe her nothing." I sent Emily a small gift, a minimalist desk clock from a Portland artisan, inscribed with, "Time reveals truth." It wasn't about reconnecting, it was about closing the door without bitterness. Kate raised an eyebrow when I told her. "Classy," she said. "Now let it go." I was trying. Work became my anchor. The tech firm offered me a full-time role, and I accepted, liking the team's focus on sustainable tech. I moved into a one-bedroom apartment near the Pearl District, its bare walls a blank slate. Volunteering at the shelter introduced me to new faces, including Sophia, a 29-year-old veterinarian who worked with the rescue program. She was calm and focused, her humor dry but warm. We met while untangling a leash from a hyperactive lab mix, bonding over our shared frustration with the dog's antics. "He's got more energy than a toddler on sugar," she quipped, and I laughed for the first time in weeks. Sophia and I started talking more, first about shelter logistics, then over coffee after shifts. She'd grown up in Oregon, loved hiking, and had a quiet strength that felt real, not performative like Emily's charisma. One evening, as we cleaned kennels, she asked about my past. I gave her the short version: fiancé, betrayal, fresh start. She nodded, no judgment. "Sounds like you dodged a bullet," she said, tossing a tennis ball to a waiting dog. "Takes guts to walk away." Her words stuck with me. Our friendship grew slowly. We grabbed burgers after volunteer shifts, hiked Multnomah Falls, and swapped stories about our jobs. Sophia's passion for animals matched my drive to solve problems through code. She wasn't flashy, but her steadiness drew me in. One Saturday, on a trail overlooking the Columbia River Gorge, she stopped to tie her shoe and looked up at me. "You're different out here," she said. "Lighter. Like you're letting go of something." I realized she was right. The weight of Emily's betrayal was fading, replaced by something new: hope. A year after leaving Seattle, I got a final message from Emily's friend Mia. "Jake, Emily's wedding happened. She's staying in SF, working on herself. I know you don't care, but I thought you should know she's not playing the victim anymore." I didn't reply, but the news felt like a period at the end of a long sentence. I showed Sophia, who shrugged. "Sounds like she's moving on." "So are you." She was right. My life in Portland, work, volunteering, our growing connection, was mine, built on choices I could trust. That spring, Sophia and I started dating, taking it slow. We planned a small camping trip to Crater Lake, just the two of us and a tent under the stars. As we sat by the fire, she leaned against me. "You ever think about what you'd say to her now?" she asked, not pushing, just curious. I thought about it. "Nothing," I said. "She's my past. You're my present." She smiled, squeezing my hand. Kate threw a barbecue that summer, and Sophia came along. Watching her joke with my sister, tossing a frisbee to Kate's dog, I felt a quiet certainty. This was real, honest, steady, no secrets. Later, as we cleaned up, Kate pulled me aside. "You look happy, Jake. Like, actually happy." I nodded. "I am." The lesson wasn't just about Emily's betrayal. It was about knowing when to walk away, about trusting my instincts when the truth stared me in the face. The black card had been a painful gift, exposing a future I'd been blind to. Now, with Sophia by my side and a life I'd built from scratch, I was ready for what came next, whatever that might be.